Stanley Ranch Museum. I'd never heard of a ranch museum, so I decided to go have a look. Here's the Stanley Ranch house, built in 1891. It was donated in 1971, along with a couple other buildings like this barn built in 1922 and the tank house that fed water to the house and barn. This house was moved here, built in 1941. Garden Grove Water Department building attached to the tank house was also moved here. The museum uses it for a reception area now. They got a lot of neat old stuff in there. Kind of waiting here while you're waiting for the tour to get together and go, and I think it's time, so let's go take a tour of the house. It's supposed to be haunted.
He is the one that has painted all of these paintings here, and he actually did that painting, a self-painting of himself.
In the mirror. Who said that? I don't know. I don't recognize the voice from anyone in the tour, but I figured it had to be one of them. They talked a lot to each other.
So that's pretty good. That also gets you a little bit, well, we're off on this to see this whole thing.
I really like that cylindrical phonograph. That thing's 90-something years old and it still works quite well. Now here our tour guide's telling us some more about the house. He told us it was a Sears and Roebuck catalog house. I think they sent you the plans. You got to put it together yourself. He talked quite a bit. He had a lot of information to pass along, so everyone in the group kind of talked quietly to each other. And it was difficult to really use any of the audio from the actual video, which is why I've got it muted for the most part. And I'm narrating it myself. He's telling us about the china cabinet here in the china. Behind this wall is the kitchen, and the china cabinet opens from the other side, so you can put the clean dishes right in from the kitchen. Take them out from this side when you want to use them. This painting here, as well as the first one we looked at, they're supposed to change their expressions once in a while, part of the haunting legend. And this bedroom here, this is on the first floor next to the dining room. Apparitions have been reported here. I didn't see any today, but it felt a little creepy in there. I'm not sure why. Tried to get a look on the table here to see what it was. I wasn't looking at her boobs, promise. And this outfit here was original. This was Agnes's outfit. Let's go in the kitchen and listen to the tour guide some more.
And if the phone rang for you, and what they did is that maybe one person, their ring was a short ring, another may have a long ring, another may have two rings.
Oh, those are only for the neighbors?
Just for the people in the immediate area. If it rang for you and you picked it up and wanted to talk on it, there may be 20 other people listening.
Now we're upstairs on the second floor in the children's room. This was one of the larger rooms in the house. Just take a kind of a look around here. The water since the water was fed by gravity from that tank, there was no running water upstairs. It really only ran to the kitchen. What we looked at first there was a commode chair, thunder mugs in all the rest of the rooms. Here I've moved to the other side of the room to give you a look at the other, back the other way. That mirror is 200 years old. Says that's one of the most valuable things on the property. I really like these clear transoms. I guess since they didn't have electricity, that was to help sunlight from the windows flow through to the other parts of the house. Wool bathing suits. Glad we're done with those. Now we've moved into the master bedroom on the second floor, and that thing was really small. Here's some more of Agnes's personal belongings. Don't touch the sign on the left, don't touch anything. Here again, I've moved to the other side of the room, and you can see it really is kind of tight quarters in there. Here our tour guide's talking some more about the personal effects of Agnes. A lot of the stuff in the house was original to the house, but not all of it. Here we're in the office across the hall. I think this was Agnes's mother. And her father here. He was the original rancher on this property. He grew oranges and walnuts. Later on got into poultry and eggs. Some of the original paperwork and billing. I think 6 dozen eggs was $1.20 back then. Don't touch that stuff. Another one of those don't touch signs. Now just behind me is the nursery. We're going to go in there next. This is directly above the bedroom from downstairs, and again I got that kind of creepy feeling in here. It's supposed to be haunted. The legend is the child died in that crib, child of a caretaker that lived in the house in the later years that it was being lived in. They say if you stand close to the crib you can hear a baby cry. I didn't hear it. The little girl that was with our group tended to whisper a lot. I think I frightened her. Now this picture on the wall, that's real hair in that picture, and real linen or whatever that material is on a painting. That was kind of spooky looking. I didn't like that. Mostly they have a lot of sewing memorabilia in here now. There's another portrait of Agnes and her saddle. She was quite the equestrian. That's it for the house. Let's go look at some of the other buildings that have been moved onto the ranch property. This was originally a barber shop for the first 10 years. After that it became the electric shoe shop. I guess electricity was still kind of a novelty, becoming more common. And this stuff here is the electric shoe repair equipment, which I guess was state-of-the-art back in the day. In the back of the building they've got some turn-of-the-century dental equipment. This was never used as a dentist's office, but this is where they display their collection of dentistry. This is just next to the chair. Little saliva suckers, and I don't know what some of that stuff is, but I know those are drill bits. How'd you like to see your dentist coming at you with these pliers? You got a toothache? No problem. Here's one of the most popular buildings on the property. Figure out what it is?
Walt Disney's uncles.
That's right. This is where Walt Disney got his start when he first moved to California and lived with his uncle. Couldn't find work, so he went to making cartoons in his uncle's garage. He didn't use it for very long, but technically this is Walt's first cartoon studio. That red building that you saw next to it's the schoolhouse. We're going over there next. You might want to pause and read these teachers' rules. They were pretty strict with the teachers back then. Now, just before I started recording in here, I was looking through the viewfinder just to see what I was going to get, and I heard a little girl standing just next to me laugh and giggle. I looked over to my left and there was absolutely nobody there. This is another house that's been moved to the property. The Schnitger house, circa 1950 or so. That's what it looked like back in the day before it was moved here. I think about half the stuff inside this house is original to the house. The rest of it I think is just stuff they've collected, the Historical Society, and they chose to display it in this home here. That's the Blayholder house, 1825 Queen Anne Cottage, not quite on the tour yet. And this house they just didn't even mention. It's on the property, but we didn't get to go in. I really wanted to go in there. This is the Garden Grove Fire Department replica building. One of the few replica buildings they have, and it houses the original Garden Grove Fire Department fire engine. Engine number 1, a 1926. There's the original post office, 1927, and that's about all we have time for. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Thanks for watching.